Morning, day 5, and supposedly Ryan's got some D11 cats for us to go check out. That's gonna be priority number 1. But first, we gotta go make sure Trevor's still with us.
Yes?
I get a little bit itchy just from driving into this place.
It's a perfectly good establishment.
I know.
I've seen you in worse.
There they are, Randy.
I'm speechless.
Did they stay out there, Trevor?
There's one on the left. Yeah, these ones aren't moving. These ones are permanent.
So if you missed the last video, we're talking about the fans that they put in the orchards that they'll use to help keep the plants from freezing when it gets really cold.
There's one on the left, really close to you.
There it is. I don't think that would work around us. Randy didn't believe Trevor yesterday.
I didn't believe that would move enough air
To actually do anything. What's that?
Did you guys get plenty of sleep? Did you sleep good?
We did.
Oh, good.
Like babies.
Oh, good.
Well, Randy for sure. You would not believe how quick that guy starts snoring the second he hits the pillow.
Oh, I believe it.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Trevor, I don't know, but he lived.
Yeah.
He made it through the motel experience.
Motel experience.
Mm-hmm.
Left roaches and stuff to keep him company.
That's right.
So, perfect.
We are south of Fresno, California, about, Ryan figured about 20 miles right now. So we don't know exactly where we're going. Ryan knows, but we're headed out to find some cats. Sounds like maybe D11s?
Yeah.
Deep ripping, running 6-foot shanks. You disgust me, Trevor. Ryan, you know how to drive one of these?
No, but we're going to figure it out.
All right, I'll stand in front of you and guide you so you go in a straight line.
Can you give me a boot?
There we go. I'm gonna hop in the cab of this thing once we get to the other end of this field, and I'll see how this thing operates. Ryan's gonna walk me through it and let me know exactly what's going on here. But I believe the idea is they have taken the old crop out of this field, and they're breaking it up now to break the roots out of it and break up the hard pan. Basically prepared for the next crop, but that shank is a solid 6 feet into the ground. It takes so much power and so much traction to pull that and do what they're doing here. They're running in a kind of a crosshatch pattern, so you can see they've run it that direction. Now we're coming by and running at this angle. So here we are at the end of the field. He's gonna raise it up. Look at the size of those cylinders work. It's a little bit tense out here.
Yeah, you know, a little shaky.
A little bit. All right. I'm in the command center now. Oh, your visibility's less than I expected.
Yeah, you got a lot going on.
Right. All right, what do I need to know?
So first things with these things is you got to realize they're always at a full throttle. And so right now we've got it on an idle setting, so we've got it right here. So when we go to start, we always push this down. This is a decelerator. So we push that down, we bump up to the rabbit setting or whatever.
Yep.
And then you'll start letting it back. And it'll stay like that. So it stays like that the whole time until you put that decelerator down.
Okay. So there's our decel pedal, throttle.
Yep. That's your emergency brake. You don't ever want to really use that because it really locks up. So that's only in emergency situations. Because this thing's you're pulling something through the ground. It's going to stop on a dime.
Yep.
So then over here you got your controls. So this is your forward and reverse. So when you put this forward, it goes forward. That goes back. This is turn left. You pull this back. To turn right, you pull that back. So it's all just with your fingers right there.
So when I'm looking here, are you just following the line on this?
So a lot of times, a lot of guys will use this. I personally, when I drive, I just do the old school. I look down, I line something up, and I try and stay straight.
Yep.
With this kind of work, it doesn't have to be like perfect. You're not planting anything. You're not doing anything like that. As long as you can just stay in a good straight line.
Sure.
So a lot of guys, yeah, you'll use that and you just stay in a straight line. But like you said, it's kind of hard to see.
Right.
Especially a lot of times there's a dozer blade on here. And so, but this ground's softer, it doesn't need the weight. And so they don't put the blade on.
Okay.
Then back here, the main thing that's going on, you're pulling this shank through the ground. Right here is where you control your shank up and down. And so you can, your seat's twisted so that you can see back towards that shank, and you can adjust it if needed. So this right here would be control your blade if you have the blade on here.
Is there a missile button for missile launching?
These two right here.
Yep.
Yeah, torpedoes actually.
Torpedoes?
Yeah.
There's our tutorial on how to run it. There's, I mean, that's a 2 to 3 foot furrow there. Maybe 3 over here. California Farmer on YouTube and Instagram, maybe all the other stuff, I'm not sure, but he's a good dude. We had him on the Off the Husk podcast a few months ago. Whoa! Trevor Bale's getting in there to get the shot. Well, I think I made a horrible mistake this morning. I have one pair of underwear that's smaller than all the rest, smaller than it should be. And I think that ended up in my suitcase, and I put it on this morning without knowing.
Free ball it.
I might. It's kind of hot out here anyway. That is one bad piece of machinery right there. What did, I think Ryan said it weighs 230,000 pounds.
Something like that. This is the biggest one Caterpillar makes. Komatsu makes one bigger.
Komatsu makes a bigger one?
Yeah. But this, he said this is even too easy for this machine. He thinks a D9 could have probably handled this, but...
He said it's softer dirt here, so it's not pulling near as hard. So they're driving faster than normal.
Ooh, Randy's in the cab alone.
Yeah, Randy's... Well, you can't even get 2 guys in the cab there.
Oh, really?
Uh-uh.
Look at this root that it pulled out. See, it rips and tears. Ripping and tearing.
Ripping and tearing. Did you hear Ryan say last night after they do something like this, when they come in and disc it down, they'll have to do it with a cat?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just so rough, you can't drive over it with anything else.
So if you can get 6 feet of depth, but really you're talking probably, 9 foot shank.
So he's saying it's roughly an actual 9 foot shank, but
12,000 pounds.
they're trying to get down to a good 6 feet. Just the shank itself is about 12,000 pounds. How was that, Randy?
It's crazy.
The visibility is not as good as I was thinking up in there. It's so big and boxy.
Visibility is not very good on any dozers.
No,
that's just the way they're built. So actually, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, for what you're doing.
I don't think I've ever driven a dozer.
I've never drove. This is a little older than the ones I've ran, so it's a little different. I'm used to the joysticks on both sides.
Yeah.
This still had the paddle shift or paddle steer on the one side.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a 2-track machine.
On the back here, you'll see Fowler Brothers Farming. Thank you to those guys for letting us come out here and hang out for a few rounds. And action.
So out here, it's actually pretty soft ground, but we still need to have the D11 come out and do this deep ripping to get rid of that hard pan. But this actually used to be an almond orchard out here, and it had its lifespan, and so what they did is they went through, they removed the orchard, and they ground up all those trees, and then they spread it back out onto the soil. So actually, if you go out here, you can actually see right here, this is all ground up almond trees right here. They just incorporate it right back into the soil.
So, how is an almond tree different from an almond tree?
Well, you see there's almonds when they're on the tree, and then you shake the L out of them.
So far, that is the top dad joke of the day. I'm gonna take a date break. They're delicious. Would you like a date?
I'd love to go on it. Oh. Yeah, no, I'll have
It's a fruit.
Okay.
Hey, don't take my dates. Which ones do you like better?
Probably the little ones.
Yeah, I do too.
I think he was right.
They're both delicious.
Oh, so we've passed some vineyards. So we've passed almonds, walnuts, pecans, pistachios, cherries, vineyard, wheat, dairies.
All in an hour drive.
All in an hour drive, yeah.
Crazy. The diversity out here is impressive.
I believe Diversity is an old wooden ship used during the Civil War era.
There it is. It's the receding hairline that Becky keeps telling me about, and I just keep denying it and ignoring it and hoping that it'll go away. You know, way back in 2016, when I started this YouTube channel, I never dreamed that it would grow to this level where I would have tens of people watching me and judging me, all because of my receding hairline and potentially the start of some male pattern baldness. Okay, in all seriousness, I've clearly aged about 6 years or so since I started this channel way back in 2016. And apparently Keeps noticed it as well. But it isn't just me. Actually, 2 out of 3 men will experience some hair loss before the age of 35. Luckily, Keeps has got us covered. Keeps is a subscription service to help us men actually keep our hair. All of Keeps treatment plans are doctor recommended, so you know that you're getting expert care without ever having to visit a doctor's office or a pharmacy. If anybody knows anything about temp sensor issues on the Liberty 800 engines, let me know. This thing is probably responsible for some of this hair loss. Keeps also comes with an entire year of 24/7 messaging with an entire network of experts, so you know you're going to be in good hands the entire time. If you'd like to try it out just like me, you can get 50% off your first order right now. All you got to do is go to keeps.com/millennialfarmer or check the link in the description. That's KEEPS.com/millennialfarmer. There it is. It's one of them space machines. Oh, there it goes. That was neat. He's got these 4 big swinging arms that have basically skill saw blades on them. He's coming down the row, trimming the trees. That is terrifying. That is a doomsday machine.
They use this in a zombie movie.
Yeah, right. So these guys, you said they're just trimming up from where they trimmed last year. This is a pretty light trimming.
They're going to the exact same cut that they had, and it's a very light trim, just cleaning up basically what grew out from last year.
And you said they can adjust the arms so they can trim. They can actually
go straight. Well, on this machine, we could actually go right to top, and if we want to.
Meaning you're setting it basically on the top of the tree and cutting it flat.
We could put it up to the top, and these trees are actually on like a cut like this, like a Christmas tree kind of thing.
Yep.
But at a small angle, and you can set it to flat, to 90 degree, or any angle you want to have whatever kind of cut you want.
Pistachios have a male and female. So like with almonds, you just have it's a single. There's no male female.
Yep.
But with
they all have nuts.
Yeah.
You could tell that's a male right there.
The one with the blue?
Yeah.
Because of the way it is.
Yeah. Because the tree. Yeah. So if you have male and female out there, do you need bees still, or will they cross pollinate?
Pistachios don't need bees.
They cross pollinate.
Because they have. Yep.
Pistachios don't need bees.
Nope.
That's because of the way they are.
That's it.
There's I'm learning still a lot about pistachios, but there's a percentage of males to females that you need to get the right pollination in each field too.
We're down a GoPro. I got Kyle here from Tree Barber. That's who's out here trimming these pistachio trees. Explain to me why you guys do this. We've seen a lot of them out here in the valley. We were at the show yesterday, saw a ton of them. Why are you cutting the trees here, and what exactly can you do with this machine?
Yeah, so pistachios a little different than your almonds and your walnuts and everything. The main benefit is obviously cost savings. With labor through the roof, pruning crews get pretty extensive, especially in the pistachio. To get fruit buds right, you got to cut in specific spots. Almonds and walnuts kind of just grow right. You can kind of cut them anywhere and they'll still produce fruit. So to produce fruit in pistachios, you got to cut them, at a certain spot to get next year's fruit bud, right? Here this is like a 45-year-old pistachio orchard. The strategy on this is we've already came through and topped everything. What we've been doing here for the last 5 years is cutting at a height, and then every year going up 8 inches from that. So we'll cut it, say 14 feet. Next year we'll go at that 14.8. That gives it enough room to produce the fruit bud, right? And then a little bit of growth on top. You don't want too much growth because then you're wasting energy up top, which could be you know, producing more fruit on the bottom of the trees.
If he could spin those fast enough, could he levitate? Man, not only do you carry my suitcase for me, but you go find my GoPro too, and it's fine.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The guy is a straight ninja. Unbelievable. Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, nice
Appreciate
meeting
it. We are now headed up the road to treat ourselves to some of the local fancy food.
Fine cuisine.
Fine cuisine. There's the words I was looking for. Roads are pretty crappy here, Randy.
Good Lord. I think they could raise the taxes in California so they could fix their roads.
That might be helpful.
Very much so.
Wow. Look at this fancy joint.
So with In-N-Out, you can either, so they have a double-double, which is 2 patties with 2 things of cheese, or you can get a 3x3, 3 patties, 3 things of cheese.
That's what I'm getting.
4x4, 4 patties, 4 things of cheese.
How do you bite
Animal
down
style
on
grilled onions and Thousand Island dressing on it.
It's not gonna work that time. What'd you think of your first In-N-Out experience?
Fast food place.
Yeah. I had never been to a Jack in Box. We did that the other day. Randy had never been to an In-N-Out. I think swatting bees is always frowned upon, Randy.
Good point.
Because if you don't get it right, they're coming back after you.
Yeah, sometimes you just freak out.
Right. So fun fact, the people that we're visiting here is a family operation, a bee operation that's actually from 5 miles from Randy and I. But they're out here in California quite a bit, especially this time of year, but they travel around a lot. And I'll let them talk about it because they're going to explain it.
Taking you guys on a hayride, because I'm the hay farmer.
What are the odds they'd have a perfect rig for him waiting? Can I trust you on this?
I don't know.
Definitely not. But I'll risk it anyway. I didn't see this part of it coming.
Nope, definitely
No.
not.
There, the flowers are popping out a little bit. So we're here just a little early, but you can see the flowers really coming out. I guess the almond bloom out here is unbelievable. Brian, this is an early almond bloom, right?
Yeah.
That's what I've been told because it's so unseasonably warm. So the thing they're a little bit concerned about, the almond guys out here, the early almond bloom is a concern because if it cools down again and it freezes those flowers off, they're not gonna get the seeds from that. They're not gonna get the almonds. All right, we're going Dukes of Hazzard. Here we go. I'm not scared, it'll be great content. Our plan is to throw on some bee suits and go to work, but I think Trevor's just gonna be joyriding all day. You picked the right guy to throw on all the, like, he's having fun. How is it? Is it warm?
It was a couple years ago. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just nervous.
Oh, they ran out of coats. I'll just use a t-shirt. It's fine, guys. No pants to these suits?
No, do you need pants?
That's what I
Well, I don't know. You're the bee guy.
One thing I'd maybe do is tuck that t-shirt into your pants.
Yeah, they're working.
So if you can focus in on one blossom when they're in there, you can get a picture.
This is the part where we make them mad. So
Yeah.
put the gloves back on.
We're gonna put the gloves back on. We're gonna get your veil on you.
All right.
Get a couple of these things just for remembrance.
I said Zach could
maybe
probably
an
use
eye
some
that swells shut or something.
It would make a better video that way, huh?
perfectly placed one
Let's
stinger to give you the right amount of venom.
I vote for Trevor on that one. Do you come in here often and have to clean that or scrape it? No.
If you look down in the cell with the sunlight, you can see the egg and the larvae at the bottom of the cell.
Yep.
I heard bees hate cell phones.
Can I get? Are you looking for a queen right now? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. That's
Yeah?
What I'm trying to.
Does noise bother them? Do we want to talk quiet?
No, you can say anything you want to them. They don't care.
They don't get offended easily?
These girls don't care.
So each pallet has a queen in it, is that right?
Or four.
Four queens.
Each stack is a hive.
Okay, so that's a hive, that's a hive.
Correct.
Okay.
Cool.
So what's the ratio of male to female in a hive?
Oh, there ain't very many drones.
There's not very many males?
No.
Or do they work at all, like worker bees?
Well, no, not really. They just eat food. In fact, in the fall.
So the males are super lazy, the females do everything. Would you say just like at my house?
Yeah.
So for the people watching who don't know a lot about bees, like myself, you know, we've talked about it, but You want to explain what you're doing with the bees? I mean, besides just pollinating the almond trees here, you're moving boxes around for lots of different farmers, right?
Right. So right now we're in California with the honeybees really doing the almond orchards for pollination. And the almond farmer really can't get a crop without, or much of a crop, without honeybee pollination. So ultimately it's the largest migration of livestock across the country to California with these honeybees, just to get all of the pollinations in California, all the almond crops pollinated in California. And once this almond pollination is done, then we move everything down to Texas. So our year ultimately starts in Texas. We're kind of on the end of the year right now. And then from Texas, we'll get a little bit of a honey crop out of Texas typically, but then by the time we hit spring in North Dakota, where we go, that hive is up and going and ready to get there for spring when the nectar flow is on, so we can actually collect a honey crop.
How long will they sit in an orchard like this?
Till the bloom's done. And that depends on the weather.
So the guy who just got stung and doesn't want to wear the hat part just decided to pick up a bee. What's this one's name?
Angel.
Angel, that's a good name.
There's see the stinger, little.
Yep.
Trevor, $10 would give him a kiss.
On his lips, not a stinger.
Well, just because he's got his helmet thing off? No.
Drop of venom on that very tip of it.
It's amazing.
I can't tell by looking at the camera, but I'll bet we got it. They were just telling us that these are peach orchards here. Brian, what do we call this doomsday machine now?
This is the V-sweep.
The V-sweep.
So it's
And he just came down through here and swept all this into a windrow. You can see how it's dirtier over here. There he goes. Trevor, why are they brushing all their nuts?
I assume they want them clean.
I tried asking Trevor for some information on, the detailed reasons as to why they do this, and he was just really immature about it. So
what?
Why are we sweeping the
nuts?
The nuts.
So right now they're going through. They shook them, so they already were shook and swept up and harvested at harvest time. September, October. But some get left on. They don't all come off, and so you want to get them all off because they become a home or a host to navel orangeworm. It's like our biggest pest with almonds. So there's a little moth, and it'll implant its egg inside these nuts, and then they'll eat up the nut. So you don't want that. So the way we call it winter sanitation. So we shake the trees, get the rest of the nuts off, sweep them up, and then we'll come through with a grinder and mulch all these up.
Why are some of the almonds left on the tree after harvest?
So sometimes it all depends on kind of like how the watering was done, when they were shook. Some trees just hang on to them more than others. Maybe this tree had more stress than other trees did.
And you want them
off.
You want as many off the tree during harvest as you can, but it just doesn't always work that way.
Doesn't always work out that way.
I mean, sometimes nuts just don't drop like they're supposed to.
Sometimes it takes a little longer for others.
And so he's gonna come through and shake these to get all the old stuff off?
Yeah, you gotta shake the old nuts.
So when the moth comes through and lays eggs, is it like these nuts?
Like these nuts right here?
Okay.
Do they sometimes fall off prematurely?
I can't stand silently behind the camera anymore.
Yeah, we call it June drop. June drop. So in June, you'll have a premature nut drop.
That wasn't planned at all, was it? We didn't. None of us caught it. It's been great having you guys watch us on YouTube. I'm sure this is going to be the last video I'm welcome to do over here. Ryan, what do they call this machine?
This is the nut shaker.
The nut. That's what the farmers actually call it too?
Shockwave.
Yeah, shaker.
This is called Shockwave.
Oh, the shocker, the disturber?
Orchard.
The finisher?
The
equalizer.
Oh, look at the command center. The Shockwave. Orchard Machinery Corp. So he's basically blowing the nuts to get them out from under the trees. The trees.
Cleaning the nuts from underneath.
So we're gonna get a demo here of the nut shaker, the Shockwave. No way. No way. actually thought you'd be able to feel the ground shake a lot more than you can. Like I thought we would feel it more.
I mean, I feel it.
You feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't think Trevor was actually going to hang on in that
No,
tree.
I did not either.
This is what you're doing during harvest, right? You
Yes.
come and shake the tree to get the nuts down during harvest.
Yeah.
How do you capture the nuts then? Like what are they They're not falling on the ground.
They're falling on the ground.
Really?
Yeah, so they're falling on the ground and we're letting them dry out. So we'll let them dry out for like about a week at a time because you don't want moisture going into the huller and sheller.
What if it rains?
Yeah, that's a gamble.
When
Yeah.
they get the gold bond out, sprinkle that on.
Oh, that makes
Pick it up
sense.
But no, so if it rains, then yeah, like that happened this last year. We had some neighbors that didn't harvest in time and they got rained on. And so then they just had to keep letting them stay out for another couple weeks to dry out, hoping another rain event didn't come.
That won't wreck them or start to rot or bugs?
It can,
or...
so if they're swept up into a windrow already, so if they've been swept and they get rained on,
yeah,
then it can start to get a mold and can start to be a bad thing.
Because they don't get enough air in there.
Exactly.
So then
you'll go through with, if that happens, they'll go through with what's called a conditioner. That'll pick up that windrow and it'll tumble those all out and get all the leaves and sticks and everything like that out and space them out so that they'll dry again.
Do you sweep them just like this into a windrow before you come pick them up with something?
Yep.
Okay.
So you'll shake, let them dry out for about 7 days, sweep. Once they've been swept up, the harvest machine will come through and pick them up. Then they'll get sent to the huller and sheller.
Okay.
Back in, I don't know, what was it, like the 40s, I think, 30s? Yeah, they used to go
The original shakers, I wish we could show them.
I was just telling
The original shakers were Dodge pickups.
Yeah.
So a guy took a Dodge pickup. I'll show you a picture of it. And the original shaker was a Dodge pickup. And guy made hydraulics and everything like that. And it was a backwards. He sat in the truck, and the front of the truck was behind him. And he would drive, and the steering was behind him like that. And he created the claw. And
Ryan's buddy Ed was kind enough to run the sweeper and the shaker for us there, so thanks to Ed. He's got a podcast called Hoisting Heavies, so check that out. He said he's only got about 20 listeners, so let's see if we can get that up to 25 or 30. Now we're gonna hang out here with Ryan for a little bit before we head to, I guess, the House of Beef, which, I mean, it sounds fine to me.
Yeah.
I'll eat there if we have to.
Suppose it's all seafood?
I would think mostly salads. Puppy. What's his name, Ryan?
Bud.
Bud, come here. Try to keep it down a little bit, though. Not so much energy.
Hey, Bud. Are you okay? Two places with Mom! Mom!
Mom!
Mom! All right. Good night, boys. Good night, Randy. Good night, Ryan. Good night, Trevor. Good night, Zach.
Thanks for dinner.
Can you tuck us in?
Good night, Mama Volk.
My arm wasn't in.
Good night, boys. Have good dreams.
Good night, Mama Volk.
You know we're almost 40.
We're almost 40.
That's all I kept thinking the whole time.
You need to take a picture, though.
Just think how
jackass
we are.
Yeah, we
These guys are
definitely need a
almost
picture.
60.
You have your phone.
mine's done.
Well, I'm
You have a phone?
I'm still recording in case it breaks.
This one's an Android, so it'll take better photos than anyone else's. All right, it's recording for whoever's gonna record.
I really hope this bug bites.
Oh, I know. I'm watching these, looking at these boards.
Sleep on the edges, guys.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
I really don't want to break the
You see
ladder.
black sheep?
You getting up here?
Well, aren't we doing
Look
it
how
all
top
four of
works.
us?
I thought 2 of you, 3 of you were on the
Singing
bottom.
Twinkle, twinkle.
Are we doing 3 on the bottom?
No,
Get
you
up
two
to
are
get up
top.
here.
You can spoon on the bottom.
You'll fit. We'll make it work.
That's a good sign.
This is a solid thing. Will Ferrell did.
What am I doing? I'm just trying to get there and tell your name.
At the other end.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Don't move.
I can't really see